Okay, picture this. A whole city completely paralyzed with fear. There's a brutal serial killer, or killers, on the loose, and the police are scrambling. This is the chilling reality of the Hillside Strangler case. But the breakthrough came from a clue hiding in the most unbelievable place imaginable. For the investigators, though, it all began with one single massive problem.
I mean, seriously, how do you even start? This was the monumental task facing law enforcement. The killers were leaving their victims in these remote, desolate spots just scattered all over Los Angeles County. The search area was just enormous. And with every single day that passed, the fear that another victim would be found just kept growing.
Now, that is a terrifying thought, right? And it is the absolute unbelievable twist at the heart of this entire investigation. You see, the key to cracking this case wasn't just where they were looking, but who was looking right there alongside.
So, facing this huge task, the community itself decided to step up. And I mean, they stepped up in a massive way. This wasn't just a police thing anymore. It became a citywide effort, a real people's search.
The response was just incredible. It was everybody. You had the organized structure of the National Guard, you had scout troops who knew the local terrain, and then you just had this huge wave of regular people, ordinary citizens, all coming together with one goal: find answers.
And this search was incredibly systematic. I mean, they were literally combing the city's forgotten spaces. Think about it. These weren't just random spots. They were the fringes, the outskirts, the dump sites, the kinds of places a killer would choose because they think nobody's ever going to look there. But this search had a secret weapon, something really forward-thinking for its time. It wasn't just about having people on the ground. It was about data. It was about information. And this, right here, is where the whole story takes a fascinating turn. In fact, sources from that time praised the search, saying the organization was impeccable. Now, this is so important. This wasn't some chaotic mob scene. It was a tightly managed, carefully organized operation. And that very precision, well, that's what would ultimately seal the killer's fate.
So, here was the deal. Every single person who volunteered had to go through these steps. You had to show your ID, all your info was logged, and then, this is the crucial part, all of that data was put into a computer. For a volunteer effort back then, that level of data processing was pretty cutting edge.
And that was the whole point, right? They weren't just making a phone book of volunteers. They were building a database, a system designed specifically to spot patterns, to find anomalies. And in this massive sea of data, filled with thousands of good people, it found something. It found one.
And that one little data point, that tiny glitch in an otherwise perfect system, was about to lead investigators to a coincidence so shocking, it's hard to believe it's real.
After the computer crunched the data from thousands of volunteers, it flagged one simple, odd fact. One volunteer hadn't just signed up to help once. He'd registered twice. Now, in a super organized system like this, a duplicate entry like that sticks out like a sore thumb.
So you have to wonder, right? Who was this person, so eager to help that they'd go through the whole registration process twice? Was it just an honest mistake? Or was there something else going on? Something way more sinister behind all that enthusiasm?
The name of that eager volunteer was Kenneth Bianchi, one of the two men who would soon be exposed as the Hillside Strangler. He was literally hiding in plain sight, helping to search for the very victims he himself had murdered.
So what does an act like this even tell us? Because let's be clear, this wasn't some clerical error. It was a deliberate choice. And that choice gives us this absolutely chilling look inside the mind of a killer. You know, there's actually a name for this behavior in criminal psychology. It's called killer participation. It's this known pattern where offenders inject themselves into the investigation. It's often driven by this toxic cocktail of arrogance, a need for control, wanting to relive what they did, and of course, keeping an eye on the police.
So when we break it down, what did this coincidence really show the investigators? Well, for one, just extreme audacity, unbelievable arrogance. It also showed a deep psychological need to be close to the action, to be part of the drama. But maybe most importantly, it showed a fatal underestimation of the very system he was in.
And that is the ultimate irony of this whole thing. Bianchi wasn't caught in a high-speed chase. He wasn't found because of some lucky eyewitness.
He was caught by a database. The meticulous, organized system that he thought made the perfect hiding place was the very thing that pointed the finger right at him. His own arrogance walked him right into the trap.
It just leaves you with this really haunting question, doesn't it? The case of Kenneth Bianchi is such a stark reminder that sometimes the monster isn't some shadowy figure in an alley. Sometimes it's the person standing right next to you, pretending to help you search for the very darkness they created.